would like to thank our amazing sponsors, Touring Plans Travel. Their destination specialists work with you to plan and book your trip, whether you're traveling to a theme park, headed out on a cruise, or wanting to get away anywhere in the world. As experts in smart travel, their agents suggest the best itineraries and activities to fit your family's needs, and handle all the reservations on your behalf. There is no cost to you or your family when using Touring Plans Travel services, and you may even save some money if discounts become available after booking. So head over to touringplans.com/travel and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney, and it is trip report time. Doug?
Yes, I had myself a little trip down to the world. Enjoyed a few days down there.
Without me?
Yeah, I sent you flight information. I tried.
I know.
I mean, I didn't demand that you go or cry
I
to
wanted
Madison,
to be there.
but life gets in the kids. They're busy. This fit perfectly for us.
It was a terrible time for me, so it did not work. But I am excited to live vicariously through your trip. And I know you had some Patreons meet up with you, and you saw a few of them down there. Speaking of Patreons, we have a new one, Cynthia 4. Welcome to the Rope Drop Radio Patreon community, getting some after shows that Doug is going to record and some bonus audio that Doug did record while he was down there.
Threw a couple bonus audio shows up there. Bonus audio is just real short, raw. One was literally me walking from my room in Pop Century to the Skyliner.
Those are the best episodes.
And I'm partially out of breath because it's 95 degrees.
Even better.
It's melting. You can feel the heat through my phone as I record. And only a few people looked at me like, what is that guy doing as I walk and talk into my phone? But
it's the digital age. People are used to it now.
Yeah. So one tier, gets after shows. Next tier up gets bonus audio after shows. The next one up gets the Zooms,
which is scheduled, Patreon. Ooh. So make sure you check that date out.
Okay. Derek's got it scheduled.
I do.
How about that? The September Zoom is scheduled. So anyway, Apple Podcast Reviews, another great way to support the show. And it costs you nothing to leave a 5-star review. You leave a 5-star review, we will read it on air eventually. This one is titled Must Listen, 5 stars by, you ready for this name, Derek?
I'm excited.
Future Bears kicker.
I heard, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Derek's a Packers fan, so.
I'm a Packer owner. There's a difference.
Okay. Anywho, they duped you into giving money. Anyway, okay, my bad.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. This is a must listen if you are planning a trip to Disney, or if you're just a Disney fan that wants to partake in the magic. There you go.
We are magical.
We are magical. On the trip, I referred to someone in our party group as being allergic to magic.
Oh, well, I wonder if we're going to hear more about that. That's a good transition.
Right.
It wasn't just you. I wasn't there. So who went with you on this trip and why did you go?
So last September, we did go on a trip together, Derek.
We did. It was fantastic.
Mm-hmm. It was a pretty similar crew, but missing you and a few others. So it was with my wife, Michelle, and Alex Sinek and Lauren Shields. They're all agents or destination specialists at Touring Plans. And then we also, for part of the trip, had Joe and Nancy from backtothemouse.com. So it was a nice little group of 6. Traveling with all certified experts. I was just there
for the ride,
told what to do and when to do it.
And when you can eat, because when you're traveling with a bunch of destination specialists, they're going to take pictures of all the food.
Well, the cameras always eat first.
Yep.
Always. We do that. It's not even, so it was fun. Different group than we've kind of ever had before mixed, because we had a Nancy in there. It was fun to get to know everybody. It'd been a while since we've seen each other, even though we talk all the time through text and social media and stuff like that. It's always great to get together face to face, because having all our virtual friends, it's nice to meet IRL, as the kids would say. Do the kids say that?
That is what the kids say. I think they do.
I think they still say that. IRL.
They do. All right. We're cool. Hip dads. Yeah. So speaking of cool, hip things to do, staying on property is cool and hip. Where did you guys stay?
Well, staying on property is cool because you get that early entry. That's the cool part, right? We stayed at Pop Century because
which is hip because you have a Skyliner.
it is. It's you know what it's very serviceable type of amenity. Doesn't break the bank. We were really just squeezing this in, so financially, we didn't want to spend much money on the trip other than maybe some food we splurged on. But we just had to pay for a whole bunch of cruises all at once, like New Year's cruise, Thanksgiving cruise, all came due. So this was on the cheap,
Annual pass
APs.
discount,
Our
yeah.
flight back today was under $100 on Southwest. There was only 64 people on our flight, so I kind of worry about if Southwest's going to start cutting some flights to Omaha. But I'm hoping it's just because it's September. I mean, it is the slowest travel couple of
For
weeks of the
everybody,
year.
yeah.
So
I mean, I'm going to jump into another. So I keep seeing low crowds, low crowds, low
mhm.
crowds. How was the crowds down there?
I think overall very low, very manageable. If you do the Magic Kingdom on a party day, like you rope drop, you can just crush it. And then if you splurge and throw Genie Plus into it, like there is no such thing as a line for the month of September is fantastic. I will say though, the month of September, I felt like the sun was following me and had
Was
some
all
sort of
three
personal
Batu
vendetta.
Suns on you the whole time?
Yeah, yeah. Now, I will say this, unlike some of my travel partners, I was not using as much sunscreen because yeah, I'm
I
not.
burn.
Yeah,
I'm
you
that
do.
guy.
I
Yes.
don't really, but I always wear my hat to help protect the old bald spot, right? But
Yep. Got to
it's
do that.
thinning in a spot, and that's what the rope drop radio hat is for.
It is. Makes perfect for that.
So, but the crowds were very good, very manageable. We'll talk about the crowds at the Halloween party later. That's a whole separate subject, but um, Epcot, we were there on a Sunday night and a Monday, very different atmospheres. Sunday evening was still pretty happening. The food booths had some lines um, into the evening on Sunday. So, even though it's September.
So my question is, you're going
Mhm.
without kids, you're going with adults. What
Yes.
is kind of the mission and kind of what you guys were trying to accomplish on this trip?
Really, it was to
Just to make Derek jealous. That was it. That was the whole
yeah,
reason they
that's
went.
really it. It's really just to get together and camaraderie sort of thing. Like the purpose of the trip is just to be with friends.
Oh, I thought
Really.
the purpose was to meet Figment.
That was a lucky coincidence. I mean, it was
Oh, what? You
announced
didn't plan around that.
we would have had to plan the trip in less than 24 hours because they're like, and Figment starts tomorrow. So yeah, we did meet Figment though, but that's not how the trip started. So, but yeah, the mission of the trip, food and wine was definitely a mission. Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party was a mission, and then just to have a good time, relax, test some of the local establishments that mix drinks was part of the mission.
Well, you went to a restaurant I've never been to. That first night, you made me really jealous. Talk about it a little bit. Where'd you go and what'd you get?
After we met up with Joe and Nancy, and then we met up with Alex and like Lauren was there. We kind of all got in staggered, so we met up in Epcot, and we went on Living with the Land. Then we headed back, and in Japan, we went to the new restaurant back in Japan. Had you ever been to Tokyo Dining, Derek?
No.
Me neither. This is where
Okay.
Tokyo Dining. You know where Teppan Edo is, right? You
Yes.
go up the stairs. That's to the left. This
Yep.
is the restaurant to the right. It
You know what? Oh, wait, it just opened, right?
just opened
Yeah.
a few weeks ago,
I was gonna
and
say I've been
it's
to when it was a long time ago before it was that.
I don't have a clue how to pronounce this. I'm
Yes.
heard it multiple times. Didn't help me. I'm pretty sure every time I heard it, it was said differently. If I say it, feel free to correct me through messages, although that's not going to help at all. I'm admitting I stink at this. Should I
Okay.
try it anyway, Derek?
Please do.
Shakiki Sao Suzuki
Not even close.
Sushi Azukai. Okay.
The new sushi
The
restaurant right next
sushi
to
restaurant.
Tefanito.
Yeah. It was so I'm not a sushi eater. I had too many biology classes. Or anybody that wants to yell at me for not trying sushi, sorry. I know what nematodes are. I can't do it. It's in my ingrained from college. But God bless everyone that loves sushi, because half of the table devoured their sushi. The other half, we did not. I had some udon noodles with steak in it. Very good steak. The meat was great. I wish there was some more meat in it. Also, it's a place where ideally you order multiple different things and
Yep.
everybody shares, right? And they pull off this roll or this thing onto theirs, and then everybody shares. In our party of 6 had 4 different food allergies, so that
Doing
kind of
well.
blew the sharing out of the water. There was
Yep.
no sharing to be had. And the poor waitress, she looked like she developed an ulcer just talking to us. But we like to stay alive, so it
Well, I'm
is what
glad
it
you're
is.
alive. I would have spent some crazy money when you text me the
Mhm.
menu.
It was not cheap.
No, not
Definitely
cheap, but
the
that's
most
$100
expensive
meal
meal.
right there.
It added up quick. I got a drink. I think it was like the strawberry summer sunset or something. It was possibly the pinkest drink I've ever had. It
That's amazing.
was
I've seen you have other pink drinks too.
it was strong.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it
Doug
was.
Strong and Derek Strong are two completely different topics.
Yeah,
Things, I don't know.
it was enough for Doug.
Okay.
So their drinks got good reviews. The sushi reviewers, they said it was good, but it was not great. Not necessarily on the list to hit up again. So if you have something else you prefer, something else you're looking for, go for it. If you love sushi, sure, go for it. If that's what you want on your day in Epcot. Someone did say, I believe California Grill was better,
Yeah.
because they have a lot
They
of
have good
sushi there.
sushi. Not gonna lie. Yeah.
So, but that one's harder to get into.
That is true.
So
There you go.
that
Well,
was our dinner that night, and then we kind of slowly worked our way out of Epcot.
okay. Did you do anything fun that night?
We did. We hopped on the Skyliner and we
That's
got
always fun.
off. Yeah, got off at Riviera because two of the people, yeah, a couple of the people haven't been to Topolino's at night before,
Oh, yeah.
and they'd never seen the view of Epcot from Topolino's. And as we're on the Skyliner, Alex was pointing out, like, look at where they put the restaurant in relationship to
Epic fail.
Epcot. And they're
Disney.
like, the building is backwards. We're like, yeah, wait till you
Yep.
see the view. Like, so you get up there. They have a very nice bar area lounge. We got a couch with a couple tables around, like a coffee table. Fantastic place for a group of 6 to sit and chat and have a drink. Their drinks are excellent too
They
at
are. Some of my
Topolino's.
favorite. Yep.
Yeah,
Top 3 old
I
fashions
couldn't
right
remember
there.
what it was I usually drink there, but I know it was what Alex's wife usually gets. So I
Okay.
asked what she would get, and
That's
of course,
adorable.
yeah, I am. I know.
Did anyone get the old fashioned for me?
I'm sure Alex did. I
Okay,
think,
good.
yeah,
That's I usually
he's.
rank that as number 2. Someone actually on a Twitter board wanted someone to rank the old fashions, and I got tagged, and so I put Riviera at number 2.
You put Star Cruiser number 1.
No, I
You should
actually
have
put that in
just.
number. No, that's number 3 because California Grill is the best old fashioned
I
on
feel like
property.
you should throw that at number 1, just because who can argue with you?
That's
Like,
true.
the group of people that can argue with you, the Venn diagram is so small. So unless you're on a Star Wars group arguing about this, right?
Yeah,
The number of people that could be like, and they'll never know. They'll never know
they'll
what a
never
pod
know. Well,
chaser's
that's
like. Anyway.
depressing. You know what? They're coming back. I have faith. 2 years from now.
Okay.
Anyway,
Anyway, so we went to Topolino's. We went out for fireworks, laughed at the fact that you can't see Spaceship Earth from Topolino's.
did they have the mob of people that are trying to arch their necks around
Yeah. Oh,
Topolino's?
yeah.
That group
Everybody's
always
right on the
cracks me up.
rail.
Yep, on the rail.
And, we're walking back in halfway through Epcot Forever going like, oh my gosh, I can't, yeah.
Yep.
So, and then we sat there for a while, finished our drinks. It was great. It was a nice indie. Then we hopped back on the Skyliner and back to Pop.
All right. Well, it is Rope Drop Radio. So what are you doing to Rope Drop?
Well, the next day we got up, hopped on the Skyliner. FYI, 6:40 a.m. was a good time to get in line for the Skyliner when it opened at 7:30 a.m.
Oh, yeah, that's rough.
Alex got there first, got the spot, and he was not first in line. We were in the first maybe 40 people or so.
Really?
The line for the Skyliner when it opened, we're on the Skyliner, skylining away, and so the line goes towards Pop Century, and then it turns towards the 50s. So if you're staying in the 50s, walk towards the lake and then over, and that way you hit the end of the line as fast as you can. Don't
Yep.
walk to the lobby and then out to the Skyliner, because then you're going to double back to the line. So if you're staying at Art of Animation and you're not getting there at 6:30, 6:45, you're going to be walking further into the Pop Century area to get to the back of the line. So think about that. Give yourself 10 more minutes. If you're going to show up to the Skyliner at 7:20, you're going to be walking a little ways.
Interesting.
But I will say at 9:30, there is no line.
I'm sure there isn't.
Yeah.
So where were you planning on going that early in the day?
We went to Epcot.
Okay.
Early entry started at 8:30 in the morning. So we got over there. We're not the first on the rope, even though all the Caribbean Beach people that wanted to go to Epcot beat us because they start at the same time. So if you're coming from Pop, you're behind all the Caribbean Beach. And of course, you're behind any of the Epcot area resorts that
But
just walk.
so many of them are going to Ratatouille usually.
Most people
you're usually going to be pretty fine.
So from our rope drop area, we were the second party to Figment. The people that beat us ran. It was too hot.
Don't
for that.
run.
No, don't run. It's not what you're supposed to do. So they ran. They beat us. We get to Figment. The people from the front of the park beat us. There was maybe 20 people ahead of us at Figment, which lined us up fairly well with the little portal that he walks out of. Same portal Joy and Vanellope and Wreck-It Ralph have been walking out of for years.
Yep.
But they put Dreamport above it. Great job, Disney. They built a little background for Figment. This was day 2 of Figment. There was no 4-hour wait or any of that nonsense. You can thank everybody for I need to be first syndrome for causing the first day thing. I think it will be a fairly small, minimal wait going forward, unless you just time it really bad and get behind a group. But Derek, we were there. You may have seen things online. Figment has some trouble getting out of the tunnel.
I saw that.
So I was videoing. I did video Figment. He fell. I did not post it because I do believe the cast member. Close your ears, kids. Give the kids a second to close their ears. Okay, and skip forward. Parents, I'm worried about the cast member inside because it looked like where the human face would be hit the edge of the wall. So, and it did not look good with the amount of time Figment laid there. So I wasn't going to share that.
The other person who posted it got over 5,000 views or 500,000 views.
Not what you want views for,
Okay,
though.
okay.
That's someone's kid in there.
Yep,
That's someone's coworker. Like our friend Ryan Wiley would have been very disappointed in us if we posted that.
All right.
So be nice to cast members. Don't post things where a cast member is injured. There's the lecture of the day. So I hope Figment's okay. The next Figment came out about a half hour later. So they're scheduled to rotate about every 15 minutes. So that means there was another Figment lined up ready to go 15 minutes later, and they missed that window. So that tells me that it was not good backstage for Figment that fell. So,
but you still got a picture with Figment, and it was as awkward as it could have ever been.
Mm-hmm. It was. Yeah, we were out of there by 9:45, and then we're off to Starbucks. But Figment was good. He hit me with his tail multiple times when he was turning to hug other people in our group photos. Like it's a full-on weapon, like a Stegosaurus. So that was fun. But yeah, Figment meet and greet. I definitely try to do it. Ride Figment and then meet. I think they almost should have made that a rule. You had to ride the attraction to meet Figment.
Oh my gosh, that gets more bodies on that ride for sure.
We didn't ride Figment, but we would have if that's what it would have taken, right?
Okay.
So
yeah, makes sense.
So the little hallway they have to come out of, they did add something to the bottom because his foot got caught under this rail, but they added something yesterday. So the next day it was modified. So hopefully that doesn't happen again because Disney Figment fell twice that day.
Yeah.
Fell later. I didn't see that one, but the other one, they didn't look like they smacked their face right into the corner of a wall, though. Yeah.
Well, Our thoughts go out to Figment.
As a dentist, I hope they have all their teeth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ugh.
All right. Well, moving on. That's the big thing. Big
Yeah.
news. I know you couldn't get into Journey of Water, though that was open. Were you able to walk by, see anything with that?
It just looks like plants.
Okay.
I mean, and then there's spots where you put your hand underwater.
I
Why is
saw
it
that.
not just a full-on spray park, Derek?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
I cannot wait to go through it because I have a lot of questions that need to be answered. Looks beautiful, by the way. I'm excited to check it out, but I'm not planning a
Like,
trip around
is
it.
it possible they're doing all these cast previews and they're just showing them one part, and then there's a whole other part that's like a legit spray park?
I don't know. It doesn't look
There's
big
no
enough for
way,
that.
right?
No.
If our zoo can have a legit themed,
Oh, it's so good too. Our
like,
zoo's water park is
I've
fantastic.
how many times are we going to say this there? I mean, I don't understand. It's
I
not,
know.
we didn't get into the preview. We've missed one preview we could have done by a day.
Yeah.
And then we didn't smooze enough cast members.
You didn't say, hey, I'm Douglas McKnight. I did not post about Figment. Let me in.
You know what, Disney, if you're listening, invite us to media events. 'Cause
Yes,
look
we
at
will
that. I
promote
didn't
it. We would love
post your-
that.
I don't post your fails. Now, there's certain things. Yes, we're honest. But
Yep.
we're not mean. We're not there
No.
for clicks.
Yes.
Ugh, disgusting.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about some other things that might be disgusting or good. Food and wine is happening at Epcot.
Yeah.
So one of some people's favorite, some people's least favorite, but it's happening. It's going on for a bajillion days now. So what
I
did
think
you
it
get
starts
into
like
and what'd you try?
January 2nd and it ends December 31st. I don't
That's
know.
it's all the booths are open
Yeah, I
somewhere
don't
in
know.
there.
It's really long.
So I'm assuming you had some food and some wine
Mhm.
and some fun. What did you get into?
So we did food and wine stuff for lunch, basically. They all rode Guardians. Met up with John Self, food blogger. If you Pastor John on Twitter. We did Flavors of Fire. Had a taco there. That the meat was phenomenal. Now that was like they were just open. Like you could smell them cooking everything, getting it fired up. So super fresh. Flavors of Fire was good. Then we went to, I don't remember for the second stop. I'm not going to say them all. There's just too much food. To the Marketplace Brewing Lab at the Odyssey. So the Odyssey is the weird little building between Future World and World Showcase on the left side of the park. So between like Test Track and Mexico. And phenomenal bathrooms. If you're ever looking for an inside the Odyssey, the bathroom is less busy.
It is.
But
I love that one.
tons of wings and beers and a pickle shake, Derek.
A pickle shake. Who in their right mind would actually order and or drink a pickled shake?
Well, it's the Muppets' fault. So this is all Muppets themed. There's like video playing, all kinds of stuff in the seating area. It's great because it's inside, air conditioned, sit down. But we got 3 different kinds of wings. We got the peanut butter and jelly sticky wings, the garlic parmesan wings, and the orange wings. They were all really good. The peanut butter and jelly was like the weirdest, best tasting wing. Like I was not ready for it to be good. I thought like, okay, this is weird. And one bite, yeah, it's still weird. No, one bite, and I'm like, oh, this is
interesting. I would try
scrumptious.
that. I don't
It
think I would
was-
order it, but I would try it for
it
sure.
was-
That's what's fun about going with a group of people to Food and Wine or any of the
Right.
festivals is you get to take bites and samples and try other things.
Right. We each ordered one of these and we shared it all. Like that taco at Flavors of Fire. We got a little knife and Alex and I cut it down the center, shared
you
the
go.
taco. And when we ordered it, the girl's like, it's just one taco, right? And he goes, yeah, it's 6 something. Of course that's one taco. If it was 2, it'd be $20. I don't remember. Alex usually has some, he may not have said anything at that point, but he's usually quite humorous. But yeah, so we share a lot of things, but I did get the pickle milkshake.
So back to my previous question, who in their right mind would think pickle milkshake, that's something I should get?
I thought it'd be interesting to talk about. And it
So
would
you
make
did
for good
something for clicks.
pictures.
He did it for the clicks.
I did it for
so
the
not before,
No,
now you're doing this.
Right,
Yep.
right. No cast members were harmed.
Nope.
Right? Just me. This is just
Doug
me.
was harmed.
I can put myself on the line. I've ordered some stupid food at Cosmic Rays for the show before. Do you remember the Incrediburger?
We've told, no, the story's been told so many
Oh,
times on this thing. I know.
This was right up there. So it's called a pickle milkshake, and then someone's telling me like, yeah, it's not. It doesn't really taste like pickle. It tastes like dill. I'm like, dill pickles. Still to my mind, I'm thinking pickle juice type flavor, which I can eat pickle spears all day long, right? So
Okay.
make it cold and ice creamy, sure. No, that's not at all what it tastes like. It almost tasted like vanilla for a second when it hit your tongue, and then it tasted like a dill type of dip for bread. Like on Disney
Mm.
Cruise Line, they have all the little breads and the,
Yep.
the dip, and they have a dill one. It's kind of didn't taste like pickle juice in any way, shape, or form.
So is this something you're like, oh, I took a couple sips and I'm like, I'm good. I should throw this away?
Yeah, yeah, I did not get finished. I drank
Okay.
more of it than I should have because I kept thinking like it's gonna get better type of
Yep.
thoughts. It did not.
Well,
I think Joe had a sip of it, and I think Alex had a sip of it. Only one. It's same category as blue milk.
so
Like
my wife saw the picture and she goes, how is Doug feeling? And I said, not good.
no, it didn't
It would
cooperate with
kill
my
me
stomach.
for the record. I would be
Which
dead.
which is ironic. Somebody commented on Instagram like, "Oh, that should be great for indigestion." Like pregnant women crave pickles at times. Yeah, those are pickles. This was dill.
No.
Like, and I don't know how dill and pickles are really related, but according to my taste buds the other day, not close enough.
Okay.
I could have drinking I have had pickle juice like, a high schooler at a track meet. Did you ever drink pickle juice at wrestling, Derek?
No, never. I don't like pickle juice, though I like pickles.
Was that a thing yet?
That wasn't a thing yet.
It's definitely a thing at cross country meets and track meets. I don't know, people drinking pickle juice,
We used
but
to drink honey,
that's why? Why?
the quick shot of sugar energy.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, that wouldn't help at a distance event. So yeah, the pickle shake, and then we made it to Mexico. Um, people got a few things in Mexico, some different drinks. Michelle got some nachos from the counter service restaurant. One thing I will say is the festival, we never asked them to modify anything. Uh, Maybe they're great at it, maybe they're not, but not a ton of gluten-free stuff just on the menus. Also, my allergy gets kind of hidden into things, so you really have to read all the words. I learned this on a trip with Derek once. You have to read everything. I saw cronut and I thought dessert. It wasn't, was it? It was
Nope.
like a tuna roll on a
I feel
cronut.
like I miss out on some of your great epic fails of food, but
I
I've seen some
I
at the
am
same time.
horrible at food and
Every
wine.
trip,
Every time I do something just dumb.
it's
I
great.
got the cronut with you. I
That ate the
accidentally ate
fork.
a fork.
Yep, a lot of things. Now the pickle shake that
Oh my gosh. I
you're
shouldn't
not
be
feeling
allowed to go.
100%. And you know what? I'll just go. I'll take care of you next time.
Yeah.
So
So then we rode Grand Fiesta Tour, uh Frozen, made it down. Like they got some Indian food. By the time we got to India, I was like, I don't even want to smell that. So I continued on to America and waited for them at Voices of Liberty, and it was September 11th.
that's what I was going to ask. You were there on 9/11. So
Yeah.
what was special? What was happening?
Now, I don't know that it was special because of the day, because they always do patriotic stuff, right?
Yep.
I saw the Star Spangled Banner last time, and it's just hard to describe how emotional it was. Well, they did Battle Hymn of the Republic, which I've seen them do before years ago, like decade ago or so. Battle Hymn of the Republic, but they did it like it was mostly one guy as a solo. Holy crap, Derek! It was good. Michelle was like ugly crying. She wasn't the only one. And they have some perfect harmonies to where the old goosebumps happen and the hair
Oh, yeah.
stands up for me. That's how you know they hit all the harmonies right, is when the hair pops up on the forearm. Yeah.
Nice.
So it was really good. The Battle Hymn of the Republic was phenomenal. I think Michelle put some video up somewhere out there
Somewhere.
on the
All
Rope
right.
Drop Queen Instagram or Twitter
I
or
saw it
Facebook.
actually. It was really good.
And video never does it justice
No,
either.
especially not
but-
Voices of Liberty. I feel like that was
Oh.
always a fail on video.
It is, but like it was so good live. I
Yep.
mean, holy smokes. It was like a notch better than when I started the Star Spangled Banner. And I got out of the Star Spangled Banner. I was trying to explain it to Michelle on that
Yep.
trip, trying to tell her what it was like. And she's like, the Star Spangled Banner? I'm like, yeah, okay, sure. And I was like, see how would like same reaction, different song. So okay.
Okay. Well, what'd you guys do that night?
We went to the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, anything
Yeah.
happening there?
We were gonna watch some Happily Ever After.
Oh, yes.
We ate dinner at the Plaza, just because we could,
Yep.
and it was excellent. The
The last
Plaza's a
time I
nice
think I went
option.
there was last year with you guys.
I think Alex just books it to
Yeah.
book it. It's that or Cosmic Rays, really.
That's really it.
So it's choices.
Yep.
I think it was Lauren's first time in the Plaza, and like everybody else, their first time in the Plaza, they ask, "Where is the rest of the restaurant?"
Yep.
And it's like,
It's
no,
that
it's
small.
just
Nope.
this
It's
closet.
like these
Yeah,
8 seats.
yeah. What's the honest capacity in there? 25, and you can
Maybe.
touch all your
But
neighbors.
you can drink. And that was so I
Yes.
remember that was the first time I ever got an alcoholic beverage in the Magic Kingdom, and I was like, "Oh, am I breaking the law?"
Did
And
you feel dirty?
I did. And then I found the sangria at Crystal Palace and
Oh
now
yeah. It's all
Skippers, and so
downhill.
now it's all downhill.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, yeah, great.
Yeah, so it was a good night until we're standing there waiting for Happily Ever After. Everybody's looking at their phones because the lightning is just ridiculous.
Mm.
And then I think it was Joe, Michelle, and Lauren all said, we need to leave. I was just following at that point, and they convinced Alex, yeah, we better go. So we fought through our way through the crowd because the crowd wasn't going anywhere. We start getting sprinkled on about the train station. We decided what is going to be the best way to stay dry and get out of here. So we got in the Resort Loop monorail, sprinkled on. We get under the cover for about 5 seconds. Downpour.
Yep.
Absolute deluge of rain.
Yep. Been
Just,
there. That happened on my last trip.
but we were basically bone dry.
There you go.
Get on that Resort Loop monorail. I think we only had to wait one more train to get on. Like, we didn't have to wait long. And over at the Contemporary, we hit the Steakhouse 71.
Yep.
Once again, they have a great lounge area,
Love that
couches,
lounge.
chairs. You don't have to have a
Top 5
reservation.
old fashioned right there if you're listening.
It's really good. Great place to sit. We were the only people really utilizing the lounge too. There was a few people at the bar. You can get the menu, I think, to a point at the bar. They stopped serving food at a certain time, but so it's got its benefits. But Steakhouse 71 for the win. We stayed dried and we got hydrated.
There
you
you
know
go.
what I mean.
Yeah. Wink, wink.
And then we Ubered on back to the Pop Century.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah.
So you have one more day left, a little rope drop, and then I really want to dive into Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween.
Yeah,
So
so Hollywood Studios rope drop. I did not make it to rope drop. The pickle shake was still having its way with me. So I decided Michelle's
rope
just
drop
like,
fail. I wish I
yeah,
had a sound effect for that.
right every time we just the same sounder. So they were main goal was meeting characters
Yep.
right off the not a
So
normal
Doug was
rope
good.
drop.
Yep.
So I mean they met like Edna Mode and Incredibles,
All the characters.
Mickey and Minnie, Frozone, Mando, and then they did Rockin' and Tower, which I don't do. So
Also, I love how Chopper is at Disneyland right now. Is he at
and
Disney World?
Ahsoka and Hera,
And
no,
Hera? No, not at all.
nothing.
Yep.
Like I'm interested to see if October 1st they show up though.
I would love that.
Because
I would
once the
think
Star
about making a
Cruiser's
trip for
closed,
that. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you're flirting with what, a November date possibly?
Maybe.
If they show up, that makes it a little easier to happen.
It does help a little bit. So,
But then Rise of the Resistance was after, I got there for that, and Mickey's Runaway Railway, requested row 7 and 8, saw the Trumpet Squid in all its glory. Yeah, and then we had a reservation. Well, we did Slinky Dog and then Toy Story Mania. I think I got my highest score ever, 275.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
I've never done that.
I don't think I've ever gotten the highest score.
I
So,
broke
and
2
also
one time.
thank you, Alex, for helping or unlocking all the things that we unlock to make it possible to get writing with someone else that's good. It helps a lot.
Yep.
I tie with Alex a lot. This is the first time I actually like beat him,
There you go.
like by a margin. But we had a reservation at Rodeo Barbecue.
Oh, that place is terrible. Go on.
The number of people saying that becomes less and less, Derek.
All right.
You no one goes to a theme park restaurant and does a pull test of their brisket except
Yep.
Derek Satzman. So buyer beware with Derek's recommendation there. But so the good thing about it is 99% of the menu is already gluten free. So
I'll give you that. That's a good one.
Michelle can eat all of it unaltered except for biscuits, basically. So, and like, just don't put the croutons on the salad. So that was part of the reasoning. And some of the party had never been there. So, and they wanted to see if Derek's really as crazy as he sounds. So, I mean, that was mentioned. But so the app crashed when Alex was checking us in. Right. And then we were like a couple minutes late because the slowest walking people possible got off a Toy Story ahead of us. And it is a long, narrow path. And like there was no getting around. And if anybody knows Alex and ever traveled with Alex, when Alex can't get around somebody, I mean, that's a blockade.
Yep.
Right. That's like Spanish Armada level blockade. So, and then when we were late, they said, well, we can just put you in the queue. It'll be an hour.
Yep. Been there. That happened.
So we said, no, thank you. Goodbye. Because we're not waiting an hour. So we then looked at the app and immediately made a reservation 10 minutes later for Mama Melrose.
Okay.
So we went to Mama Melrose and
So
Michelle,
that's my issue with Roundup Rodeo. It's not all the food. It's the literally overbooked service. It's not there yet. I'm hoping in a couple years
so we
it's
said
better.
goodbye.
Yep.
Like, all right, we don't need that. So so Michelle got to try their gluten-free pasta. It was not as good as her favorite place back home, but it didn't make her sick and she still enjoyed it. But they kind of changed up the recipe for the chicken parm. That's kind of big news. I heard that, so I tried it and it was really good. Chicken parm may have been kicked up a notch.
Okay, now I'll have to try that one again.
And then there was also a special menu item of the beef lasagna. So always ask if there's a special.
I love
Mama
beef lasagna.
Melrose.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've convinced me to go back there.
I mean, if you can't get in, 10-minute wait, basically. Granted, it's September. We were able to book lots of places day of. We were able to book that rodeo barbecue the day before. So that was Hollywood Studios. Then we went back to the room for a little break because you need a break if you're going to go party.
You did. Mickey's Not So Scary. So let's talk about that. First, what did you guys dress up as?
Gotta give credit where credit is due. It was Alex's idea. We went as the 4 Epcot festivals.
Oh, fun. Now, who was what?
Well, first of all, if we had had a 5th, Derek,
okay,
we would have had Diet Epcot.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but we only have 4. There are 4 festivals. There is the Festival of the Arts that leads off the year. That was Lauren. Then there is Flower and Garden Festival. That was me because it makes me sneeze. Then there's Food and Wine because that's Alex, of course. I mean, why wouldn't that be, right, Derek?
Yep, makes sense.
And then the Festival of the Holidays is Michelle because she loves Christmas.
She does.
So
Neil Patrick Harris is there.
Yeah, fit everybody, and we just all went and bought festival T-shirts off eBay.
Oh,
and,
nice.
I didn't necessarily share this with the group. I thought the uglier the better.
Oh.
So I found me a T-shirt that said pass holder on it on a pocket. A T-shirt with a pocket. I don't know who thought that should ever be a thing.
Oh, come on, bring them back.
It was.
Everything's coming. If I'm learning anything for my kids these days, that was never a thing
enough to come back.
Oh, my kids, things are coming back.
To come back implies it was a thing, Derek. This was not a thing. The trumpet squid's more of a thing than T-shirt pockets. But yeah, so Alex had a hideous shirt on. He just found the ugliest one he could. And it was funny because the day before he pointed at this guy and he's like, "What do you think of that shirt?" I'm like, "That is hideous." He's like, "That's what I have for tomorrow night."
Nice.
Like someone's wearing it. Also, we were getting Dole Whip before the party, and there's a cast member pointing at which line you went into, and she pointed at the line. The people before me. She was like, "Okay, behind the people in the green shirt, the red shirt." And then Alex's was just a hideous button-up mauve-looking thing, and the guy with and I go, "The really ugly shirt," and she kind of, yeah,
Yeah. Good job, cast member.
fantastic. Okay, well, that's what we went as. We were the 4 festivals. The first cast member that figured it out without us prompting it at all was
Mhm.
at 11:55 at night when we met Mickey Mouse.
Wow.
And they were
I'm just
like,
glad
"Oh
someone
my
got him.
gosh, you're the 4 festivals."
You should have gotten a prize.
Right, we should have brought something.
Yep.
Yeah, we didn't. We're not that good of people.
So what are some of the highlights from Mickey's Not So Scary this year?
Highlights. There's lots of highlights, Derek. There's lots of highlights. So there's lots of candy. Um, they have a lot of candy trails, and they just scoop it on out and put it in your bag. It is the same candy everywhere, no matter where you go. It is the same candy except for one designated area that has an allergy-friendly bag. I think the allergy-friendly bag's the same for every allergy. So hopefully it helps with your allergy. But
There you go.
all the candy's the same, and I have a lot of it, and I ate some of it on the flight home today.
Perfect. And then hopefully you gave some to your kids. So,
No.
oh, okay. So what did you guys do for dinner at the party?
Well, most people are smart and they eat dinner before the party happens, but we did not. So we ended up eating at Pico Spills, but they had a special like burger for the party. So there are some special menu items. So Alex had the special burger, and then they had a candy corn milkshake. So did Doug learn his lesson from?
Absolutely. I'm sure he did.
So do you think I ordered the candy corn milkshake?
I hope you did.
I absolutely ordered it.
Yes.
It tasted basically like artificial flavoring. That was the flavor I would say it was artificial flavoring flavor, which reminded me of organic chemistry lab when we made all the artificial flavors one day. So it was cold. That was a benefit.
And that's all that you wanted.
It was more like a frosty with not a flavor you could pinpoint than anything else.
I've eaten there a few times for Mickey's Not So Scary.
It's the ugliest food. Everything's yellow. And the candy corn shake was just a cup full of yellow. Oh, and at that point we had met up with Mr. Nate Bishop too.
Yeah, I saw
So-
Nate was there. That's awesome.
So then Michelle, Lauren, and Alex went and rode Thunder and then Tron, I believe. And so Nate and I went and got candy. We checked out the new Rusty Cutlass. That's kind of like Citizens of Main Street or the Hollywood actor. It's just, skit
Yeah.
actors out by Pirates of the Caribbean. There was some music involved at some point too. I don't know that I'd go out of my way. It's one of those things like as you're walking by, you're like, oh, that's neat, and stop for a few minutes. But and then we also saw a little bit of the Cadaver Dance. And by a little bit, I mean them basically hitting their last note and saying, thank you.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
That
we
happens.
timed it fantastically. We heard the hoedown happening from a ways away and both agreed to walk the other way.
Makes sense.
But we got lots of candy while they were on those attractions. The candy things, so like Pinocchio's Village House is candy. Country Bears, you go through and it's candy. PhilharMagic, you go through and it's candy. Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor, there's candy.
That's my favorite.
It's
They tell
just
Halloween jokes.
right, and like Country Bears had nothing going on, but PhilharMagic had like old cartoons playing.
Oh, okay. At least something.
I watched a little bit of the Zombie Dance Party and the Tomorrowland stage. I don't know any of the zombie songs, Derek.
Oh, I know them all.
Yeah, you are in the wheelhouse for that. My kids, they watched it, but they were done watching it on TV with their parents around by that age.
Okay.
The group right before that, that's the last I got. So There's
I
the
got to see that
Disney.
live at D23 last year. That was a
Yeah,
highlight. So
that is
I'm all about the zombies.
Disney Junior Dance Party and Cosmic Rays. So we kind of checked that out, and then I met back up with my group, and we met Minnie and Donald. Daisy, I don't know, disappeared on us. Like they went to go check on Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and Daisy didn't come back. So I don't know
Oh
what
no,
kind of shenanigans those three ducks got into,
a lot.
but something happened to where Daisy disappeared. And of course, I said we should go to town hall and complain, but we didn't. So we met some
Yep.
characters. Then we met Goofy over by the Barnstormer. Characters are a big part of Mickey and Minnie's.
Did you get to
Or
Jack
not?
Skellington?
No, because we
No.
would have needed to be in the line at 4, if not
Yep.
before 4, for Jack
I've never
Skellington.
met him. That's like on my
We
list, but it's so long. On the cruise,
we
maybe?
did in like 2015, maybe, or maybe 2013. I think we met Jack Skellington when we went as Alice in Wonderland themed. I was the Mad Hatter. Yeah, that's when we met him. So,
All
yeah,
right. Well,
way
my
back.
favorite things at Mickey's Not So Scary is, of course, the fireworks show. It's one of the best ones by
is.
far. So, how was it for this year?
It was good. One of the neat things is there's a big Jack like characters puppet. I don't even know fully what Jack is, but he's up on the stage.
Yep.
He's kind of the host. If you can't see Jack, it doesn't ruin the show at all. But if you can see Jack, it's just really cool effect. But big fireworks, kind of a third of a perimeter of fireworks too, so you feel a little more surrounded if you're on the hub. Lots of projections on
Yeah.
the castle.
Some of the best
Mhm.
projections.
I really like it when the castle's like black and they project some things on it. They don't do that enough in the other shows.
I agree.
I really like that style of, because it looks like the image is the only thing that's there. But they need to do that more often in the other shows, I think. So the fireworks were good. There was a constant threat of storms, so they moved them up by like 10 minutes. So we had to run to our spot, and everybody else did too.
No.
So that was interesting.
What about the
Yeah,
parade? Did that still happen?
it
My
did.
headless horseman was there.
So after the parade, we watched the Sanders Sisters show, because it
Love
was
that show.
after the fireworks, before the
Yep.
parade, and they stopped it kind of halfway
Oh.
through. And we're like, oh, great. There's no way we're getting the parade then. And like, we got sprinkled on like 10 times, maybe like 10 sprinkles when they stopped it. And so we're like, all right, let's go do Pirates, right? And then see what it's like when we get out. And we were either going to be soaking wet or dry, because it was just like pop up storms. But when
Yep.
they popped up, it was like a red dot on the map. It went from no dot to red dot, yay, Florida. So we start walking away, and then all of a sudden the Sanders Sisters come out. So they basically went from Oogie Boogie to the finale. So we skipped like
The whole
a
middle.
good
That's hilarious.
chunk of the show. But hey, we got to see the finale, because the finale is fantastic.
Oh, it is.
All the villains
All the
are out
villains.
there.
Yes.
You
That's
just
one of my
don't get to
favorite shows.
see.
It's underrated, by
Yeah,
the way.
you just don't get to see every villain's highlight. Like they
That's
each
worth
get their
the
own little
ticket
feature.
itself.
So it's so well done, and it's visible. You don't need to be in the front row for it. Grant, the closer you are, the better. But
Yep.
we were kind of back on the hub for the show and could see really well.
Yeah, I disappeared with you last year. You're like, where'd Derek go? And I went right to the front to watch it.
But like after the fireworks, watching that one is great, because so many people just bolt after the fireworks. They're just gone, especially with threat of rain.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I think it really emptied out a lot.
Nothing beats the hurricane year that I went to Mickey's Not So Scary, and there's no one there.
That's a whole different deal, right?
So
Then parade.
Yep.
It's we watched on Main Street. We were on the side of the Tomorrowland side of Main Street, and we chose that specifically. We didn't camp out for a spot. Kind of found a spot to sneak inside of the tape in the second row behind some people. We found short people to stand behind, which is a challenge for us to find shorter people, but we did it. We could, and most of the stuff is up high, other than the street level performers. But it's fantastic. That's the same parade as it has been, which is good. You got the Gravediggers making the maintenance guys mad about them hitting the cement, I'm sure, but it's an enjoyable parade. It makes it really worth it. And the same thing can be said about the Christmas party. It's the same big three things. You got your fireworks, your parade, and your stage show. They all are really good. And I think that's the big part of the Christmas party as well. If you do
Still have not
those,
done it. That's my goal this year,
you
hopefully. If
got to
not
get
this year,
there.
next year for
Yeah.
sure.
So, but the parade is good. And as soon as that parade went past, we walked down the street a little, cut through the confectionery because the crowd wasn't moving fast. So go through the confectionery, and then we met Mickey. We walked right into Mickey. No
Nice. And
wait
then
at
the line
all.
follows you just like it
Yes.
did before. Yep.
Yeah, we did that last year, didn't we? And did
Yep.
the same thing, except we were on the right side of the road this time. Last time we watched from the wrong side of the
Yeah.
road, right?
Yep.
So we weren't the first ones to him, but we were pretty close. But we were the first people in there, met Mickey. Great way to end a party, meeting
There you
Mickey
go.
in costume. So
Awesome.
it was fun.
Well, sounds like a fun time. And then you woke up and flew home today.
Yeah, well, Michelle woke up early, booked people on the treasure.
Yep,
And
that did happen.
I got yelled at for snoring while she was trying to, work. So, and then we got on a plane, we flew to Atlanta, sat there for 2.5 hours in Atlanta, and then flew back to Omaha.
Awesome.
Really pretty uneventful flight. So I'm sure my next time I fly will be a disaster.
Okay, well, there you
Knocking on
go.
wood.
So it sounds like a good trip. It sounds near
was.
perfect. I'm sure if I was there, it'd only been better.
Well, I mean, other than a pickle shake, Derek.
Oh my gosh, that
Pickle
sounds
shake.
terrible. That would
When
literally
I
be
when
the
I
worst.
ordered the candy corn shake, Michelle's like, "Really? You're gonna
Really,
have it? Really?
after you were sick,
You're
Yep.
gonna do this? Like, we have to fly home tomorrow. Like
As she should, as I would have if I was there too.
we'll
So
get her take on it on a Patreon
Patreon,
show.
yes. So I told Doug for Patreon this week, I want to have Michelle and hear her thoughts on the trip and Doug's pickle shake because it's a lot worse than it sounds. So there you go. That is Doug's trip. So if you want to do a Walt Disney World trip, now is a great time to go. Michelle loves booking them even at 5:30 in the morning. But the rest of the amazing destination specialists, including Alex and Lauren, all of them are incredible and would love to book you. We have a link in the show notes. It is touringplans.com/rope drop, and they'll take care of everything. My wife is actually going without me and her family in October, and they're going to do a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party.
Yeah, that would be
So
exciting.
I know. I'm hoping
Does she
like
have
how do
costumes already?
uh they keep changing their mind on what they're going to do, but I'm like, hey, the
Uh,
day's coming. You got to kind of get that
yeah.
figured out. So we'll see. I don't even know what I'm gonna do for Halloween this year, but I'll probably dress up as well. But there you go. We're gonna, yeah, Doug and Michelle be on the Patreon show, and then we'll probably have more too. And Doug and I will have to talk about Ahsoka on a Patreon show as
Yes.
well. So, and also Patreons, look for the Skype episode that's coming out. And if you want to know any more about that, you can go in the show notes and become Patreon and keep leaving those reviews so Doug can mess up your names. But that is all the time that we have. So for Doug, I'm Derek. We do not have any pickle shakes. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.